Hi, listeners. We just flew in from the coast. You're going to love this podcast. It's Moving Right Along, a Muppet movie podcast brought to you by toughpigs.com. This is the podcast where we watch the Muppets Take Manhattan 2 minutes at a time and talk about it a lot. I'm your host, Ryan Roe.
I'm your other host, Anthony Strand.
And this week we have a guest who's been on this podcast many, many times. Guest, who are you?
Hi, this is Broadway producer Leonard Winesop.
Welcome to the show, Leonard.
This is not Leonard Winesop. He's a fictional character.
Oh.
And so am I. My name is Joe Hennes, and I am the co-owner and editor-in-chief of toughpigs.com. It's a Muppet fan site that you've probably heard of.
Thanks for coming back from last week. Today, we are talking about minutes 29 and 30 of the Muppets Take Manhattan, in which Kermit enacts his plan, which involves going to meet a Broadway producer or agent or one of those things. So we pick up with Kermit telling Jenny that the first part of his plan is, if you can't beat him, join him. And then he gives a little nod to emphasize what he just said. It's always adorable to see Muppets do things like that. So then we see an establishing shot of a Manhattan office building. And I've been using this post from the Bowery Boys blog occasionally to identify certain locations in this movie. But they didn't identify what this building was. So I spent way too long trying to figure out what it is. I took a screenshot of the movie and tried to reverse Google image search for related images, but all it wanted to show me was images from an upcoming Tom Hiddleston movie called High Rise.
Oh, that movie already came out.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, that's an old movie. Yeah.
Yeah, that's from like 2019 or 2018.
Oh, okay, I'd never heard of it. Have you seen it?
No, but I saw Paradise Towers, the 1980s Doctor Who story, riffing on the same novel.
Okay. Well, apparently it has a building in it that somewhat resembles this one. But eventually, a friend of this podcast and wife of me, Stacy Rosen, posted the same screenshot in a New York subreddit on Reddit, which is funny because Joe was just talking last week about using Reddit for research. And it worked again because somebody replied to tell us that this is 777 3rd Avenue between East 48th and East 49th Street. It was built in 1963. And it recently got a big renovation. So if you're looking for office space, maybe consider 777 3rd Avenue. Inside the building.
Crazy.
The elevator opens and a frog peeks out.
Wait.
Yes.
Wait, before you get to that, I do want to ask, so like before we get to this sequence, and Kermit says to Jenny that part one of his plan is, if you can't beat him, join him. Do we really think that's what he's doing here? Like, is that really, like, the best way to describe what's happening? He's not really joining anyone.
No, I think he thinks
yes, it's his best attempt based on his perception of this world of producers and agents.
Right. So, but, like, then, I mean, I'm cutting ahead a little bit. Isn't this also, like, a equally appropriate way to describe part two of his plan?
Sure.
Like, he's just pretending to be someone else that people think that he's their equal.
So part one is...
I don't know. I think it's a terrible way to describe the plan, that's all.
Part one, if you can't beat him, join him. Part two, if you can't beat him, join him again.
Also, like, he didn't try to beat anyone. This is the first thing he's just like, part one of my plan, join him.
Yeah, I mean, he did go all over the city trying to get producers to be interested in his show, so now he's trying to act like a producer to get them interested in his show. I don't know. Yeah, you're right.
That's true. I didn't think of the opening sequence and then the whole Dabney Coleman thing,
right,
where he got beat,
right,
a little bit.
So I'll allow it. Yeah. So this is Kermit. He is dressed. Well, I was going to say dressed very differently than we normally see Kermit, but we normally see him not dressed. So. He has this curly black hair, sunglasses, this pink shirt with a huge collar. These medallions around his neck, and I don't know, is this an ascot or a dickie? He has a little white thing tied around his neck.
I just felt like it's just like a scarf, but it might be an ascot, I guess.
Yeah, it's not really long enough to be a scarf. It's just kind of tied in a knot.
Hey, so Kermit wears an ascot in this, right? And Fred on Scooby-Doo wears an ascot, right? And Fred on Scooby-Doo was played by Frank Welker, and Frank Welker plays Baby Kermit. character introduced in this movie.
Whoa.
Whoa! Do you think that
That's
Frank Welker watched this movie and he was like, "There's an ascot in this movie. I gotta be in the series."
That's what made him decide that he wanted to take the job on Muppet Babies.
I hope so.
Wow. So when Kermit gets off the elevator in this scene, there's two other people on the elevator with him, and like there's a man and a woman. We don't really see the man's reaction because the woman is between him and the camera. But like she kind of gives him this look as she's getting off of like, that's weird. But like she just rode the elevator with him. Presumably for at least 30 seconds. And it's like she's just noticing him for the first time.
Well, he's very short. You know, like, if someone gets on the elevator with a little kid, I'm not looking down at their kid that much, you know? Kermit's like the height of a child.
That's true. So I guess she could have not noticed him for that time?
She just wasn't looking. She was, I don't know, she was looking at the buttons.
How about this? If you get on an elevator with somebody who's dressed strangely, you might think that it's rude to look at them or stare at them while you're on the elevator ride with them. But once you're getting off, you assume that you're never going to see them again. So that's the moment when you can safely cast a glance at them without worrying about whether they're going to see you do that.
Sure. Yeah.
It's just elevator etiquette.
I guess so.
Can we talk also for a second about how Kermit looks ridiculous? Like, he thinks that this is...
Oh, do you think so?
Well, but he thinks that this is like what a cool guy dresses like. Like, why does he... What makes him think that? He's wearing like it's like this even for 1984. Like that afro's not in style.
No.
It hasn't been for many years. That like the pink suit.
I wrote down.
What is he doing?
I don't think these huge collars are still fashionable either.
I wrote down that he looks like a mix of Richard Simmons and Paul Lynde.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
I specifically like Paul Lynde from the Match Game.
Yeah,
like I feel like this is an outfit that Paul Lynde would have worn, right? Especially with the ascot.
You mean Paul Lynde on Hollywood Squares or Charles Nelson Riley on the Match Game?
Was Paul Lynde not on the Match Game? Did I completely screw up that reference?
Not regularly. He was the center square in Hollywood.
Oh man,
Squares. He was too busy.
Well, I knew that, but there's a lot of game shows, and the same people showed up on a lot of them. All right, well, pretend I said one of those things that was actually accurate.
No, now that you
because
say
here's the
that,
other thing. I bet you. People are listening to this podcast, and I said Paul Lynde on the Match Game, and they immediately pictured Paul Lynde sitting in the Match Game with the celebrities, wearing exactly this outfit with the sunglasses and the ascot, and they didn't question it at all because it feels like it fits. It feels like it fits.
Fair enough.
Therefore, I'm right and I'm never wrong.
Here's the thing, though. I think he does look kind of like Charles Nelson Riley. So I think that fits.
Yeah.
So
the sunglasses for sure.
Yeah, and I feel like Charles Nelson Riley wore those little ascots around his neck too sometimes. So, if anyone out there wants to confirm or deny that, you can let us know. But so the March 7th, 1983 draft of the screenplay specifies also that Kermit has chest hair, but I don't see any chest hair here. I don't think.
No, he just has unbuttoned.
Yeah.
I think that would have looked... I mean, obviously, Kermit would have looked very weird with chest hair, but it would have looked especially weird if they also kept the gold medallion things that he's wearing. Then it's just like a mess of stuff under Kermit's shirt.
You're right, it would look cluttered. And
like Kermit already looks like the definition of cluttered.
Yes.
Like with the glasses and the afro and everything.
Right. So Kermit is at the Winesop Theatrical Agency, which the sign in the entryway tells us has offices in New York and Beverly Hills. There's this brief moment where he pauses to clear his throat and kind of prepare himself to go into character, which I really like. I think it's relatable, like any situation where you're like a job interview or meeting somebody that you've never met, and you have to kind of take a second to compose yourself and be like, okay, I'm going to turn on this social version of myself. So I think Kermit is doing an extreme version of that here. So he approaches the receptionist. The receptionist here is played by Frances Bergen, the widow of Edgar Bergen,
who is apparently listed among the cameos in the credits.
Oh, is she?
And I never knew that.
No, I didn't know that.
I didn't even know who that was until I looked it up for this podcast.
Oh, okay. Well, we talked about Edgar Bergen when we watched the Muppet movie.
Right. I know. I mean, I know who Edgar.
No,
Bergen
I know
is
you
in
do.
Candace.
But in case any of the listeners have forgotten,
Sure.
Edgar Bergen was a famous ventriloquist. He is in the Muppet movie with his character Charlie McCarthy. He was also on the Muppet Show, and he was the father of Candace Bergen from Murphy Brown and many other things. So this is...
And from the Muppet Show.
And also on the Muppet Show, yes. So this is Frances Bergen. She wasn't on the Muppet Show, but she is in the Muppets Take Manhattan.
Mm-hmm.
She's also in Muppets Go Hollywood.
Yeah, with Candace.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
And their son. They're all like arriving together on the red carpet.
Right. That's all they do, right? They're just in the celebrities arriving montage.
Right, but that's nice that they all went. I mean, that movie is dedicated to Edgar Bergen.
Yeah, the Muppet movie. Yeah,
that's true, and that's kind of why I assume not only did she get this cameo, but like you said, that she's in the listed in the credits as a celebrity cameo, like basically not just because Edgar Bergen was in the Muppet movie, but because like the Muppet performers had such a they had such an affection for Edgar Bergen and his work that it's like it kind of extended to the rest of his family.
Yeah, that's a nice nod to them.
Right.
Kermit says to Frances Bergen, "Hiya, sweetheart. I just flew in from the coast. Hey, I love your hair. Don't ever touch it." And then he says he has an appointment with what's his name, the top theater agent. She says, "Leonard Winesop?" And Kermit says, "Yeah, Lenny. What office is he in again, doll?" She tells him he's in suite 1024, but she should call first.
She's so bad at her job. Like, she should not have told him either of those
She
things.
falls right into his trap. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She should have called security on that guy.
She should have, because then when he just runs right past her and she doesn't stop him.
But like, here's the thing that bugs me about this scene. So like Kermit, we've established that he has done some sort of research. Like we said before, we said last week
he did some
probably
reading.
Went to the library or whatever. But like he did some sort of research to at least figure out where to go. The name of the agency is the Winesop Theatrical Agency. So neither in his research or by looking at the name of the company did he deduce that the person he wants to speak to is Mr. Winesop.
Right.
Lenny.
Right.
Instead, he had to trick poor Frances Bergen into saying his name out loud.
If he had just asked, for Mr. Winesop, yeah, that would have worked.
Yeah, right.
It's also interesting that this is such a faster way of getting past a receptionist than what the Muppets had to do in the Muppet movie.
Yeah, well, that's the second time. I mean, they go into Martin Price's office right away. Like, they're called in right away.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so they... I guess this movie doesn't
Kermit didn't even
prolong things.
Yeah, he didn't even have to cover Frances Bergen with animal dander to get into Leonard Winesop's office.
He did not have to activate her allergies.
And also, like, that's actually something I hadn't thought about before, but maybe you guys talked about this back with the Dabney Coleman scene. But if we're somehow attaching this to the continuity of the Muppet movie, which I think is impossible, then we have, like, Kermit has the experience of just walking past secretaries and finding immediate success. So he's like, if I can get past the secretary and into this guy's office, then it's a done deal.
Right.
That's how it works.
Yeah.
That's how I got the Rich and Famous contract.
Yeah, that's true. He got the Rich and Famous contract, went to college with it. It's like the GI Bill. He went to college with it.
Yeah, but then that gets into all kinds of questions about, like, the continuity of the Muppets. Like, does this version of Kermit, who just graduated from college, actually remember the experiences of the Kermit who went across the country to Hollywood?
I think that... Did you guys read All-Star Superman? Well,
what do you
I'm
think?
literally rereading it as we speak. I mean, not during this podcast, but like...
I know you both read All-Star Superman, but...
yes.
You know how that is like all Supermen are real?
Oh, yeah.
That's what that's what Kermit is like. Every Kermit remembers the experiences of all Kermit.
I like that take.
It all counts.
Yeah, I think you should write an article about that for toughbakes.com.
About how...
I kind of love that, yeah.
Maybe I will. So look for that in 2021, gang.
You can call it All-Star Kermit.
Ooh. I'll call it.
So the receptionist picks up the phone to buzz Mr. Winesop, and we cut to Mr. Winesop's office, where we see him on the phone saying, "A frog. With an afro?
Oh, man. John Landis's delivery of that line, that deadpan delivery is so perfect.
Yes. And yes, Leonard Winesop is played by John Landis. He's not really known for being an actor because he is a director. His movies include Animal House, The Blues Brothers, and Blues Brothers 2000, Coming to America, Trading Places, The Three Amigos, An American Werewolf in London.
Stupids.
What was that?
The Stupids.
Of course, The Stupids, which I've never seen, but
I saw The Stupids in the theater.
Oh,
that's
no.
amazing.
Oh, no.
Who's the stupid now?
Well, and I'm sure you were going to say this, Ryan, but Frank Oz is in a bunch of his movies.
Yes, exactly. I guess he and Frank Oz are buddies. Frank Oz has cameos in The Blues Brothers 2000, An American Werewolf in London, and Trading Places. So, several of John Landis's movies.
And Blues Brothers, American Werewolf in London, and Trading Places were all before this. Like, he had been in 3 of Landis's movies already.
Right, so he's kind of returning the favor here by giving his friend a role in his movie.
Right, for sure. And maybe we shouldn't mention, I don't know, but Richard Hunt is in Trading Places also.
Yes, that's true. He has, he has
like a pretty decent little part. Like,
yeah, a small supporting role.
Lines. Yeah, but
didn't John Landis also direct Into the Night?
Yeah, starring Jim Henson.
Right, that has a cameo by Jim Henson. So,
was that in your notes? Did I jump the gun?
No, I actually forgot to write that down. So, thank you.
Ooh, I got one.
We talked about that during the opening credits because a lot of the people who worked on this movie had worked with John Landis before.
Right.
Ah.
I think it's the same cinematographer.
Including Jim Henson.
Jim Henson, yes.
I like the idea that Jim Henson's name comes on the screen and you're like, yes, the guy from Into the Night.
Yes, that's what he's best known for.
We should also, I think we talked about this when we did the Muppet movie, but John Landis participated in that huge group scene of all the Muppets at the end of the Rainbow Connection reprise. He was performing Grover in that shot.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Oh, so Joe, you had something else about John Landis?
Oh, so he has a couple more Muppet connections. So he directed the Disneyland 35th anniversary celebration special, which has Muppets in it. So technically, he has directed the Muppets.
I missed that somehow. Is that the one where Piggy dreams about being Cinderella?
I think so. Actually, I didn't look up to see which one that is, but I know that is a Disneyland anniversary special. Right. I probably could look it up, but I'm lazy. So let's assume so. Okay. So that means he also directed Tony Danza, because he's in that special.
Yes, and C-3PO and R2-D2.
That's right. He is also in the "She Drives Me Crazy" music video, with the Muppets, which was from Kermit Unpigged, right? From like the mid-90s.
Yeah, which is a really weird video because the song on the album is just Kermit and Piggy singing. But for this music video, it's all these shots of celebrities singing parts of the song, and some of them appear to be shot like on a home VHS camera in their kitchens and stuff. It's very strange.
And some of them are the cast of Mad About You.
Yes.
Which I did not ever need to see in a Muppet production.
No, Anthony, noted Paul Reiser hater.
Look, I don't.
Is that Paul Reiser's only credit on the Muppet Wiki?
Let's see, probably. Yeah, that's it.
Oh, and you don't like you despise Helen Hunt, also, don't you?
I dislike Helen Hunt less than I dislike Paul Reiser.
Okay,
but I don't think she's funny. Like, it's like she can be fine in like dramatic roles in other movies and stuff. But like as a comedic actress, I don't know, man. She seems bored. She seems here's the thing about Mad About You. It's a show about two people who hate each other and life, and we're supposed to think it's like a fun sitcom about romance.
And that's marriage.
Yeah, it's not though. Like that's what I mean. I like my wife. You know,
Anthony, you're so mad about You.
That's my podcast where I watch every episode of Mad About You and complain.
Oh boy.
It's just me. It's solo.
It's going on like 500 episodes of that now. I'm surprised you still have stuff to complain about, but there you are every week. So anyway, John Landis also appeared in a 2007 pilot presentation for a new Muppet series that was produced by Bill Prady. That was mockumentary style.
And that's the one where Fozzie that's the one where they say Fozzie was a staff writer on Moesha.
Yes, correct.
Such a good joke.
I love that.
There's you likely have never seen this pilot presentation because apparently Bill Prady was told to destroy every copy that he had of it.
Whoa.
I don't know if he's actually destroyed every copy he has, but if Bill Prady is listening to this, I'd very much like to see it.
Yeah, he must have
I'm
a
sure
copy
it's
of
awful,
that, right?
Yeah, right?
Yeah, Bill Prady, you can
only
email us at movingrightalong@toughpigs.com. Let us know, where we can get our hands on that.
Great. And then the only other note I have about John Landis is that he looks like my dad.
Oh, he does.
He looks a lot like my dad.
Huh.
Not like my dad is much older now, but like my dad in like the 80s and 90s.
So is John Landis, though. Like, you're saying
They didn't,
they don't look alike as much?
Right, they didn't grow old in the same way, but definitely like my dad in the 80s and 90s looks just like this version of John Landis.
I can see that.
It's scary. I say the same thing about what's his name, the film critic. Oh no, my brain fell out of my ear.
Leonard Maltin?
Yeah, Leonard Maltin.
Sure.
Leonard Maltin also looks like my dad. Leonard Maltin and my dad also kind of they did get older in the same way.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
My dad looks like Tim Matheson.
Ryan, who does your dad look like?
He sometimes looks like, is it Arlo Guthrie?
Probably.
Does Arlo Guthrie currently have a mustache?
I haven't seen him since the Muppet Show.
Yeah, I'll have to look that up.
Your dad also kind of looks a little bit like what's his name from Gilmore Girls? Edward Herrmann. Yeah.
My dad?
Your dad makes very special appearances. Just a little bit.
Wow, I never thought about that. He also looks like my elementary school principal, Mr. Pivito. Because
I was thinking that, but I didn't want to say it. I thought it was too obvious.
Because when my dad would come to my school, kids would come up to him and go, Mr. Pivito, and then they'd have to go, oh wait, no, you're not Mr. Pivito.
Yeah. And then he'd be like, no, it's Mr. Grady Rowe.
Piva Rowe.
Yes.
Piva Rowe. Yeah. Guys, I want to let you know this is my favorite podcast. I love this. I love this show so much.
I'm glad somebody does. Well, thank you though, Joe, for those other connections, which I didn't look up John Landis on Muppet Wiki, so thanks for.
I knew all that off the top of my head. I didn't have to look it up. No, I had to look it up on Muppet Wiki. That's a lie.
Yeah,
it's a big lie.
Muppet Wiki is great.
You could have just asked your dad all the times that he worked with the Muppets.
So, Kermit comes in. He's ready to make this deal happen. He has the script with him. He says, "Hi, Eleni, sweetheart. I just flew in from the coast," which is the second time he said that. "I love your office. Don't change a thing. Say, listen, Lenny, my private plane's double parked outside, so I gotta run, but I got this Boffo Socko script for a Broadway plot called Manhattan Melodies." Now, I looked up these words. Merriam-Webster's definition of Boffo is extremely successful. Their definition of Socko is strikingly impressive, effective, or successful. So Manhattan Melodies is going to be the most successful show because it's Boffo and Socko.
Well, it's going to be successful and successful.
Exactly. Yeah.
Wow.
So Kermit keeps going, and then there's a cut to these two men who are in a meeting with Winesop, and they kind of glance at each other. And when it cuts back, Kermit is now sitting on Winesop's desk, which I love. He's kind of wiggling his feet back and forth, leaning on the desk.
I love the way Kermit just kind of like throws his legs up on the desk.
Yeah.
Like he just kind of like hops up there.
Yeah, it's great.
Really cute.
He says about the show, "It's totally today, yet tremendously timeless. And I'm giving you first look-see because we're like family. Have I ever lied to you?" Then he hears this beeper and he has to leave. I do like thinking about this character's private plane just being like sitting out in the middle of the street in Manhattan somewhere, tying up traffic.
That's really funny.
Then on the way out, he says, "Remember, Boffo Lenny, Socko Lenny." And it's funny, I don't know when I first realized that Kermit never, like this character doesn't have a name. He never tells Lenny who he is. He's just this.
No, because he doesn't have to because they're like family.
Right. He's just hoping that Winesop will assume that he knows him.
But when he's in Sardi's, he's called Kermit the Frog. Like, I think he wants to get his show on Broadway. He's not going to change his name, right?
I guess not. But if Winesop had gone for it, was he going to stay in this costume and this persona the whole time he was getting the show done? the show produced.
But not in the show. He can play the character.
Right.
Take off.
I kind of like that idea that like a whole story where Kermit's like, oh no,
he would just have
now
to
I have
keep
to
up
wear
the
the
ruse.
afro every day.
Yeah, that would be funny.
And and he's so exhausted. It takes a lot out of him, as we'll see in a second.
Yes.
But to keep that up for days or weeks, that'd be hysterical.
Yeah, that would have been funny.
Yeah, it would be just like in Mrs. Doubtfire, where he's running back and forth between the two.
It would be exactly like Mrs. Doubtfire.
I should say Mrs. Doubtfire or Superman 4, because that exact same thing happens in Superman 4.
It would be exactly like Superman 4.
So good.
So then we do see, after he leaves the room, Kermit is on the other side of the door, he's panting, he's exhausted. The March 7th, 1983 draft of the screenplay mentions that he is dripping with perspiration. I guess they decided not to do a puppet effect where Kermit is actually sweating, because that would probably look too weird.
It would be so gross. Well, and the heavy breathing is creeping up to the line of being too much, I feel like.
Yeah, but it took a lot out of him.
Yeah, no, I mean, I get it. It's a nice moment, but it's also he's really going for it with that heavy breathing.
Yeah. So as soon as he's gone, though, Winesop throws the script away. Now, here's something that I realize is not very interesting, but I'm going to tell you anyway. On the read-along book and record set of this movie that I had as a kid, Scooter, doing the narration, says that Winesop threw the script in the wastebasket. And that was the first place I ever heard the word wastebasket, because I've always called them trash cans.
Ryan, you are correct. That was not very interesting.
Thank you very much.
I will say, to add on to your not interesting story of my own, the angle that the wastebasket is filmed at makes it look really thin, and I always thought that was interesting. That he's such an important and rich man that he has these cool thin wastebaskets.
Well, it kind of looks like it's deliberately the dimensions where it's easy to throw a script into it. So he's probably throwing.
Yeah, exactly. Scripts. Yeah, but I don't think it is. I think it's just filmed at an angle.
Oh, okay, maybe.
So it looks thin.
That could be.
I wanted to just backtrack for a quick second to talk about these two guys who were in Leonard Winesop's office.
Yeah.
I looked them up. I read a little bit about them.
Oh.
There's not a whole lot of interest. I mean, they're just character actors.
Are they listed in the credits?
Well, they're both listed on the Muppet Wiki. I assume that means they're in the credits, and then they're also on IMDb. So one of them, his name is Ron Foster. And what I found, I won't go through their credits or anything, but what I found interesting was that he was in 2 episodes of Bat Masterson in 1960 and 1961.
We just talked about
because we were talking about Bat Masterson. That's right, exactly. Full circle. The other guy, his name is Michael Hirsch, and he has the same birthday as me.
Whoa.
That's it.
Wow.
So in this scene is my dad and my birthday twin.
Is he the same age as you? Was he born?
No, he's not the same age. He's not 3 years old in this.
3 years before this movie came out.
Leonard Winesop is not having a meeting with a baby.
That would be adorable, though.
This scene would be so confusing if he were.
Well, what if he was?
It would be so. It would be so distracting.
Completely not explained it at all.
If
he just happens to be meeting a baby.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, that would be great.
Oh, I love this movie, and I love this podcast. I'm having a great time.
I don't know. The imaginary movie in our head is starting to sound even better.
We should make it. I think
we should. We should do one of those fan. What do you call it? Sweeting? Is that what they call it?
No, I mean.
We're gonna make our own sweeted version of this movie.
Yeah, we're gonna add all these weird
low
things
budget
into it. Yeah,
a low budget remake. Yeah,
no,
with a baby.
Yeah, we should just go out and film it. We can get your dad to play Leonard Winesop.
Great.
And we can get you to play a baby.
We don't have to be a baby now. We gotta get a real baby, but it has to have my birthday.
Right.
That's the trick.
I have a 2.5-year-old son. He doesn't have the same birthday as you. But
all right, we'll make it work.
Yeah.
Miles is available.
I think if we can get his agent on board.
All right, I'll talk to his agent.
So, I wanted to mention while we're in this scene, Kermit's afro hair. In 2015, the Chia Pet company made a Kermit the Frog Chia Pet, and the way it looks on the box, at least, the chia hair makes him look kind of like this character. I got the chia pet for Christmas. Actually, I think, Joe, you may have helped me put the chia seeds on it.
I did. It was a fun day.
It was such a fun day.
Putting seeds on a frog.
Like slimy seeds on a terracotta frog. But unfortunately, when the seeds actually grew out into whatever the chia plant is, it did not look anything like the Boffo Socko Kermit. So that was disappointing.
You should just buy a tiny afro wig and put it on your Chia Pet Kermit.
You know, I still have the Chia Pet Kermit. It's just sitting in a cabinet in my apartment. So I could just, I could do that.
Yeah.
No, you could and you should.
Okay, I could and I should.
You know, bouncing off of that idea, I don't have it next to me, so I can't check to see like what company it's from. But I own like this Kermit the Frog, like it's like a fashion doll kind of thing that has a green afro.
Yeah,
it's definitely like a disco Kermit.
Yeah, it's like the disco Kermit doll. Yeah,
it's a very strange.
toy. Yeah. It's super strange, but like, hey, like Kermit with an afro again. It's happened at least twice.
Yeah.
Yes. 3
times if you count the Chia Pet.
Right.
That is the case for that thing says Brass Key Collectibles.
Oh, hey.
Maybe
good sleuthing.
Yeah, I can put pictures of these things on the show notes. Would you say that that afro hair Kermit toy is weirder or less weird than the Kermit driving a carrot toy that you also own?
Oh, God, I love my Kermit driving a carrot. See, here's the thing. Kermit driving a carrot, the plush toy I have of a carrot with Kermit in it as if he's driving it like a car,
right.
Which I have many questions about this that I'm going to explore in a future Tough Pigs article.
Good.
But like that, it raises so many questions that Kermit with an afro does not. Like Kermit with an afro is like, oh, Kermit's wearing an afro. He's probably either wearing a costume or he's lying to someone, like in this scene.
Sure.
But like Kermit driving a carrot, it's like, oof, boy, where to start?
Yeah. All right. I think that's, I agree. So, all right. Any other things about the Boffo Socko Lenny Winesop scene before we move on? Joe, I will start with you.
I timed how long Kermit is in Leonard Winesop's office because he like runs in and he has this whole thing and then he runs out, and it's literally exactly 30 seconds, which I love. I love that. It's so fast. And then the other thing that I wanted to note was a few years ago there was a lot of talk about Kermit and how he I'm not really sure how to put this into words. Like basically, like how Kermit has become, or we're trying to avoid Kermit becoming too milquetoast. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that's come about was some people saying that like Kermit doesn't lie. And I always point to this scene and then the other one with the Sardi's scene coming up later, that Kermit does lie. Kermit is actually quite good at lying, and especially when it involves like a wacky costume. And I love that. I love that Kermit has that depth that he can, like, if it's important enough, then like he's totally gonna, try to, pull the fleece over someone's eyes, especially if it's like he's doing it to help the show or his friends or whatever it is.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah, he lies when it works for the story. And in this case, it's very funny.
Right, yes.
Yeah. The debates were about episodes of the Muppets sitcom where maybe sometimes it was funnier than other times, but yeah, I think
it was that, and it also came up when we had read one of the earlier drafts of the scripts for the 2011 Muppet movie.
Oh yeah,
which originally had a twist where Kermit was going to be revealed to be behind Tex Richmond, like basically Tex Richmond would have been a costume that Kermit was wearing.
Crazy.
It surprises us at the end of the movie. It was Kermit the whole time. And a lot of people don't like that, and we've talked about this before.
Well,
I'm one of the few.
I mean, that's from Looney Tunes Back in Action.
It very much is, yeah. And, I mean, it's happened, I think, in a bunch of things. But, like, it made sense to me that Kermit would realize, like, all my friends are separated, and, like, how am I going to get everyone back together? It's like, well, yeah, in the movie we got a road trip and we asked them all individually, but in this case it would have been that plus the extra layer of like Kermit had created a conflict that they all needed to come together to solve, which I appreciate. It makes him really active.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that like he does have to lie a little bit, and that's okay. We all tell little white lies, right?
Right.
We all do that once in a while.
For a good reason.
For a good reason.
Yeah.
And this is a good reason. Both of those things are for a good reason. This movie and the 2011 movie, which didn't actually happen, so it's kind of moot. But like, nobody questions whether Kermit shouldn't have pretended to be someone he's not.
That's true.
In the scene.
That's true.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't actually have an appointment with Lenny. He lied.
He didn't even know the guy's name.
Yeah. So yeah. Also,
that was neither Boffo nor Socko of him.
Boy, that was so un-Boffo. Also, I like that you said he pulls the fleece over people's eyes because Kermit is made of Antron fleece.
Whoa! I planned that.
It's like he's pulling. It would be like you or I pulling human skin over someone's eyes. I think it would just be eyelids, right?
Yeah.
Thank you so much for that.
You said it.
I did start it. It's all my fault. Anthony, did you have anything else about Boffo Socko Kermit guy?
No. Right. I like that that's his canonical name. Boffo Socko Kermit guy.
Yes.
I do have one tiny little thing that I thought of that I didn't write down because I just thought of it. It's a shame that we never got a Boffo Socko Kermit action figure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
How dope would that have been?
Yeah.
That would have been great.
That would be fun.
It
could still happen.
Right? They never did the Sardi's one either, right?
No, they didn't. I remember there was like a question of rights issues with those Palisades figures because this movie is owned by Sony. But they did get permission to do some Muppets Take Manhattan branding for the Usher scooter, like where he's selling popcorn.
Yeah.
And I think Rizzo may have been Muppets Take Manhattan, but he also may have been Muppets Tonight. I don't remember.
Well, yeah, what I remember is that originally the line was just the Muppet Show, so they could only use characters and concepts from the Muppet Show, but then they started expanding it later. So,
do frogs expand?
That's just a myth. What was I going to say? Oh, you
were going to say myth.
Yeah, you got to say it.
myth, and then I forgot what I was going to say again.
We were talking about Antron fleece.
Yes. No, they should still make those toys for the movie's 40th anniversary in a few years.
Oh, that would be great.
Yeah.
So someone get Diamond Select on the phone because they're the ones making Muppet toys these days.
Yeah, it'd be the perfect time. So next we cut to a shot of the Plaza Hotel at Grand Army Plaza in Manhattan. I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with this luxury hotel. It also has apartments in it now. The Eloise books are about a little girl who lives in the plaza. It was also prominently featured in Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, where Kevin McAllister stays there. And it's also in the movie Barefoot in the Park, which I just watched for the first time.
Oh, isn't it good? That's a good movie.
It is, yes. It's very charming. So I'm sure there are other, uses of the Plaza Hotel in media, but I didn't come across any.
I wrote down that there are scenes. I have never read it, so I can't speak to any certainty. But there are scenes in The Great Gatsby that take place at the Plaza Hotel, supposedly, according to some article I read.
I have not read that since high school.
I
read it in high school. But
I wrote down that this is. Feel free to cut this for obvious reasons, but I wrote down that the Plaza Hotel was bought by Donald Trump in 1988, and then it was bankrupt by 1992.
That tracks. That sounds about right.
And it is now owned by several Arab holding companies.
Several companies.
So, well, I think it's at least two. I wasn't sure. I didn't quite understand the ownership. That's on me. But you could read all about it on the Wikipedia page for the Plaza Hotel.
Everybody look it up on Wikipedia. Also, the fountain that we see across from the hotel is the Pulitzer Fountain, or possibly Pulitzer. I'm never sure how that name is pronounced. This is, of course, named after the newspaper publisher Joseph Pulitzer, and I found out in looking stuff up for this that it's named after him because he left the money to build this fountain in his will, essentially. He said, when I die, I want this much money to go to building a nice fountain in Grand Army
I actually
Plaza.
wrote down what it said in his will. I wrote down he wanted to be like those in the Place de la Concorde in Paris, France. Like he had a very specific idea of what kind of fountain.
Sounds so fancy.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. So we briefly see Kermit walking past a bench, which is where we will pick up next week. So any final thoughts about these minutes? Joe, I'll start with you.
The only other thing I had was about that very last shot of Kermit walking. And I'm sure you'll talk more about this next week, but it's definitely not Jim Henson's hand in there because Kermit's face looks very flat, and I hate that look because it looks like a fake Kermit. It looks like they got Kermit's stunt double to do it, and they're like, we'll get Kermit to film it later, like the real Kermit, and then we'll mat him in or something, and then they just never bothered.
Did you consider that Kermit's face looks flat because he's just been wearing an afro and glasses all day?
I mean,
took him off.
I think it looks flat because of who we're about to see him walk past in the next 2 minutes. But I'll leave it at that.
No, yeah, that's a good theory. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Anthony, any final thoughts?
No, I was actually just going to say how sweet I think Kermit looks in that pink outfit without the afro and glasses on. Like,
oh, you think
it's just so casual. Like once he removes the glasses and afro, he's just like he's coming home from work. I don't know.
He should wear that stuff more often.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, Joe, as you know, we like to ask our guests, what is your history with this movie? Do you remember the first time you saw it? How do you rank it alongside the other Muppet movies, etc.?
I've never seen this movie before. It's my first time.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that amazing? No, so when I obviously I can't remember when the first time I saw this movie was because I've been watching Muppet movies since since I was as old as Michael Hirsch, the 3-year-old in Leonard Weinstopp's office. But so we must have taped it off of TV at some point when I was really young, and I remember we had a VHS tape where remember like VHS tapes used to come with like a little sticker sheet with like letters and numbers on it.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember spelling out something. I don't think it was Muppets Take Manhattan. I think it just spelled out Muppets, and I remember writing with Kermit. And I remember Kermit
sometimes you would have to be judicious because you would only have a few. Like you might only have, I don't know, a few letter A's, so you would have to think like Muppets Take Manhattan, like, and then you would end up with not enough A's, and it would be Muppets Take Manhattan or something like that.
Yeah, I don't think I spelled the whole thing. I think it was just Muppets. It's irrelevant,
right?
But the point is that was the only Muppet movie we owned for a long time because this is before those green clamshells of Great Muppet Caper and the Muppet Movie came out. So this was the one that we watched.
Are you saying that if I buy those green clamshells, could I get a free prize of some kind? Or
wait, did you say get a free watch?
That's right, guys. When you buy the Muppet Movie and the Great Muppet Caper for a limited time, you can get a free watch.
Did you say get a free watch?
I just said get a free watch.
Get a free watch.
Yay, we did it. We brought it back.
Oh.
You know, I was afraid when we finished the Great Muppet Caper that we would never have another opportunity for that. So.
Did I ever say on this show that my son Miles was obsessed with that song for a while?
Great, us too,
and would often say like I'm on a fee watch because like he wanted to watch the video of a free watch, his favorite song.
Oh, that's so good.
He would hear the Muppet Show theme song and just be like, that song a fee watch. You know?
The Muppet Show theme song, also known as a free watch.
Yeah, that's a free watch. Yeah. So anyway, Muppets Take Manhattan was the only real of the original trilogy of Muppet movies that we owned that I could watch over and over again until the clamshells came out, and I think obviously the part of it is the fact that I watched it so much as a kid really like ranks it super high for me. I go back and forth between it being my number one and my number two, toggling with the Muppet Movie. Muppet Movie is probably, I think it's a better movie. It's got to be my number one, but Muppets Take Manhattan is a very close second. But I also recognize that Muppets Take Manhattan is a flawed movie. It's not perfect, and it's definitely not the ideal type of Muppet movie. I think it's odd that it's so grounded, but at the same time, I love it for how grounded it is. And maybe I only say that because it's, well, I guess I have the Muppets 15 sitcom in my head, which is grounded in a different way. But before that thing came out, this was like the only thing where like the Muppets were really like this is the Muppets in the real world, and this is what it would be like if the Muppets were real. I think also people talk about, or at least I've talked about the idea that one of the things that makes Muppets great or puppets great as opposed to animation is like you could walk out your door and you could run into Kermit the Frog or Fozzie Bear or whatever because they're real. And like, yeah, maybe a person holding a puppet or whatever, but like they're actual real beings in a certain way that animated characters aren't. And this movie really feels like, I could walk out into the streets of Manhattan and like there's Kermit walking into Pete's, about to get some soup. And, I mean, I don't know, there's something really comforting about that. And then also along those same lines, this is an odd movie because it doesn't really follow a lot of the same structures as a lot of family-friendly movies. It doesn't have the same type of beginning, middle, end. And the one thing that that always sticks out to me is the fact that there's no villain in this movie. And we have like villainous characters that are peppered in, or not really villainous, but like antagonistic characters. But like the antagonist of this film is like, I don't know, failure, I guess.
I think I was just going to say failure.
It's like real life is
right. Yeah. Right? And like there's something
a real
really
world that doesn't really care about you
for sure. And like there's something I think really not just realistic, but like I don't know, just different about that makes me think about this movie more than I would something like The Great Muppet Caper, which may have better jokes and better songs or whatever, but this one just makes me think about the story a lot.
Yeah, it's cool to see them try something like this after doing sillier movies. I don't know that I would want to see every Muppet movie have the same tone, but it's good to see them try.
Yeah, for sure. I wouldn't want Muppets Take Manhattan 2. Like this movie is great because it exists in its own bubble, which this is slightly off topic, but like that kind of helps me to reconcile with the fact that it starts its own continuity over with the whole Muppets in College thing. Because like I know you guys have talked about this before, but like all the other Muppet projects are either like this is the quote unquote real continuity of the like how the Muppets met or what they're doing, or they're in the conceit of making a movie, like in The Great Muppet Caper. So like you can kind of see what their actual continuity is. But this movie stands out where we start over a different continuity and we're supposed to accept it in its own reality, as opposed to the Muppets making a movie about college kids going off into the big city. So,
I think we mentioned it. I'm not sure we have mentioned it on the show yet, but this is the only Muppet movie where they never acknowledge that it's a movie. It's the only one where it does not happen at all, even once.
Yeah. Do they do it much
never
of Muppets
a
Most
joke or a
Wanted?
glance to the camera.
Muppets Most Wanted has an opening number called "We're Doing a Sequel."
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And it, like, talks about how, like, all the people in the crowd at the end of the last movie were extras and we sent them home. And,
that's right,
It, like, opens with all that stuff. Yeah.
So, I don't know. I mean, I guess, it's I don't know. It's such a weird realism in this movie that, like, it's hard to wrap my brain around. But at the same time, I don't know. I love soaking that stuff up. It's so different.
Yeah. It's a worthy direction to try. So, then with that, we will wrap things up for this week. Everyone, make sure you check out toughpigs.com on the internet, Facebook, Twitter, and all those things. Thanks to Morgan Davy for our logo, Stacey Rosen for our theme music. You can send us an email at movinrightalong@toughpigs.com. You can also find me on Twitter at Ryan Roe. And Joe, remind everyone where they can find you on the internet.
They can find me at Joe Hennes on the Twitter. They can find me at Tough Pigs Joe on the Instagram. And of course, you can find me on the Boffo, Socko, toughpigs.com, and the also Boffo and also Socko Tough Pigs social media networks across all the different platforms.
Great. Do all of those things. Check out all of those things. And if you don't mind, please give us a positive review on Apple Podcasts or wherever, and tell your friends about the show. And join us again next week for another episode of Moving Right Along. Bye.
Oh, I gotta go. I left my plane double parked outside. And so am I. My name is Joe Hennes, and I am the co-owner and editor-in-chief of ToughPigs.com. It's a Muppet fan site that you've probably heard of.
Thanks for coming back from next week. From last week.
Of course. It's nice to be here in the future.
I'm going to say that again, because I mistook last week for next week. Thanks for coming back from last week.
I supposed to respond. I got confused.
If you want to.
I got so confused.
You don't have to.
Hi. That's my response.
Okay.
I'll call you. We'll have lunch. Ciao.